All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the PTNI's Daily Show. This is episode 39. We're going to be talking about making a podcast. For those who don't know me, my name is Alan Fredendahl, and I'm the COO for ICE. So part of my jobs at ICE is to take the PTNI's Daily Show video from Facebook Live and then turn that into an audio file and put it out on a number of different podcast platforms, as well as put the video itself on a number of different platforms. So before we get started, let's talk a little bit about podcasts in general. So there are 250,000 unique podcasts on iTunes. Between those 250,000 unique podcasts, there are 1 billion subscribers. 112 million Americans listen to a podcast or have listened to a podcast at least once in their life, and that's 11% growth since last year. 67 million listen to a podcast at least monthly. Again, a lot of growth, 14% since last year, and 42 million listen to at least one podcast on a weekly basis, 15% growth since 2016. Americans are 5 times more likely to listen to a podcast than go see a movie in a movie theater, and 66% of all podcast listeners listen on their phone or a tablet, so not really interested in video content when they are listening to a podcast. Mainly, they're just after it for the audio. Of the 250,000 podcasts on iTunes, 25,000 are considered science and medicine. They're tagged with the science and medicine category. And 0 of the science and medicine podcasts are in the top 100 of podcasts. So not a popular category to get into if you're thinking about making a podcast. And there are no PT podcasts in the top 50 of the science and medicine category. If you look at the science and medicine top 50, there's a website called itunescharts.com. If you look at the top 50 science and medicine podcasts, most of them I would not consider science and medicine. The number 10, 14, and 18 to 20 science and medicine podcasts are all about ghost stories, paranormal activities, and UFOs. So kind of a loose category to be in. And so I've said all that to say this, which is not that there's no more room and you shouldn't try this, but you really have to stand out. You need a really unique idea because the market is very, very saturated. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, there's a couple of different things you need to get before you can start. So if you look in the upper left of the video stream, I have a couple programs on there. So you'll need a Libsyn account, an iTunes Connect account, a Google Play Podcast account, a Vimeo account. You'll need Camtasia or some other sort of video and audio editing software, and you'll need an extension for Google Chrome called FB Down, Facebook Down. So I'll demo all that now on the video. So Libsyn is this website. This is a unified podcasting broadcast website. It's very, very, very user-friendly. This is the dashboard where you can see an overview of downloads for the past 3 months and all time. Very easy to put a new episode up on here. You just add the media file, put in a title, subtitle, description, and then you hit publish on the bottom. This is great because you can choose where you want it to distribute to. So it will automatically distribute to Android apps for you. So if you're an Android user like I am, you probably use an app like Podbean to get all your podcasts. It'll put it out to Google Play Music. It'll put it out to any iPhone or iPad apps. So iTunes is the default, but any other iOS store podcast apps will pick it up. The Libsyn Classic feed is just a generic feed that links directly to your podcast, and then people can also come to the Libsyn page and play it directly from the page. And when you make an episode, you can choose which ones it goes to, or we have all these on by default, so it's automatically posting to the iTunes Store, to Android apps, and to Google Play, among others. It will let you put ads either as you choose or ads Libsyn chooses on your podcast. I would highly recommend that you not do that, mainly because the nature of a podcast is that it's a downloaded audio file, and people are listening on their phone and they can just hit the fast forward button, so it completely defeats the purpose of advertising. A podcast I listen to very often is the Joe Rogan Show, and he has about 10 minutes of ads at the start of the episode, but my podcast app just has a button where I can skip 1 minute, so I just hit the button 10 times really fast, and I've gone through all the advertising. Another great thing about Libsyn is that it has this really detailed stats page, so you can see downloads and views by episode, and then it's very cost effective. We have the 400 megabyte plan, so the average audio file is between 20 and 40 megabytes, so you can get about 20 to 30 episodes on when we have the 400 plan here for $20 a month. But you can see if you're going to be starting putting out really short episodes or not a lot, it's as cheap as $5 a month. So that's Libsyn. So that's where we're going to be primarily putting the podcast episode. So to get the audio file from Facebook, I'm going to go to the ICE page. So you'll go to your clinic or your organizational page. Once you have this Chrome extension called FB Down, it's this green arrow. Next to every video on Facebook now, you'll have this green arrow button, which will let you download the video. So it's going to pop up a separate screen. And then here is Dustin's video, his Facebook Live video from yesterday. So I've already downloaded this and made it into a podcast, but we'll go through the motions here so you can see how easy this is. So I'll just name this Dustin. So the limiting factor here with how fast you can go is your internet speed. So I tend to just try to start this download as soon as I can during the day when I'm in the clinic, because at the clinic we have DSL, and while it'll take me 5 minutes here at home, it'll probably take closer to half an hour to download this on slower internet. So once we have the video file, we can immediately go to Vimeo, which is this video platform. So we use this as an intermediary to get a quick embed code to put it on our blog. But Vimeo also has their own app, and people can play your videos on a playlist just like a podcast. So we actually have about 1,000 people a month who exclusively listen to PT on Ice through Vimeo. So it's as simple as hitting upload, choosing the file. So there is Dustin's video if it was downloaded yet. And then what you'll get to is you can name it, and then you'll, on your end as the account user, you'll see a couple of different things on the actual video. And the most important thing is that you can go to the share button, and right there is your embed code to put it on your website or your blog. From there, next we're going to use Camtasia. So this is Camtasia. So it's a really powerful audio and video editing program. I know Rob and Dave from PT Tech Talk use this. I think it's about $200 to buy it. I happened to get it free through school while I was in grad school. But you can go really in depth, as you can see. You can annotate. You can do animations and cursor effects and all these different things. What I mainly use it for is to take the video from Facebook, drop it down here onto the first track, separate the audio and the video. So now you can see the audio track with the volume here. I'm going to delete the video. So now I've stripped the audio from Dustin's video. And mainly what I do here, I don't get too in depth into the audio mixing, but it's really kind of dummy proof, as you can see. So I can drop this noise removal on the whole track. And so I will use this when maybe Mitch or Ryan are doing, or Zach are doing a video when they're in the gym and there's, weights and stuff slamming in the background. So I'll drop the noise removal onto the track, and it'll kind of mute that background noise, so there's not as much spiky noise. And then if there's quiet, if it's too quiet, I can drop volume leveling and pull the low parts of the volume up. So just a little bit of audio mixing, export audio only, and now I can name this So it'll take about a minute to strip and process this audio. And once I have that audio, I can go back to Libsyn, make a new episode, name it, and then once it's done, pull that audio file that I just generated and then publish it. So that'll go out to iTunes and Android apps and Google Play. So now I've got the video of the podcast up on Vimeo and the audio track up on the podcast. And I'll do, which is just an extra step that we do, which is make it into a blog post. So I'll just do a little write-up. I'll link back to the Facebook Live, which if you ever need the URL or the video link to a Facebook Live video, all you need to do is right-click on the video, and then it's right there. You can copy and paste it. And then again, putting videos on Vimeo. That's I haven't seen that yet. That's a terrible thumbnail choice by Vimeo for this video. So sorry about that, Dustin. And then so now the video and a write-up are on the blog. I've got the embed code from Vimeo to put into Squarespace on our blog section. So in about let's see here, 11 minutes, I've taken the PTI Nice video, stripped and edited the audio to put it on the podcast. I've put the video up on Vimeo to then use to make the blog write-up for the day. So you can see once you get this system down and you have all these tools doing the hard labor for you, it can be a very easy process. If you're not doing a video at first, if you're not doing a Facebook Live, then this becomes even easier because you don't have to worry about stripping the audio from a Facebook video. You can go right to the Camtasia or the audio editing part and save yourself even more time. So that's it. So we use Libsyn, a podcasting broadcasting platform. We used Vimeo and Camtasia and Chrome extension called FB Down to generate a podcast audio file and video very quickly. I have it written up in the top left of your screen there, iTunes Connect and Google Play Podcast. Those are two accounts you'll need to sign up for to publish your podcast to iTunes and Google Play. And basically all they ask you for is your podcast name, and then they ask you for your RSS feed URL, which is that right there. So ours is PTI Nice. Whatever you decide to name yours, it'll be your name.libsyn there. You throw that into those two accounts, and they're basically vetting you before they allow you to publish. But once they vet you and they approve your account through those two websites, then it'll automatically start pulling all the episodes from Libsyn for you, and you won't have to worry about it ever again. So I hope that was helpful. I want to talk a few minutes about courses coming up. So this weekend, cervical spine manual therapy management with Jeff is in Toronto. Total spine thrust manipulation is actually, I should probably have deleted that, sold out last night with Justin in Las Vegas. Cervical spine again next weekend in Milwaukee. I'll be going to that one, so I hope to see a couple of you there. And then same weekend, Ryan and Mitch are going to be doing Fitness Athlete Live at GSO CrossFit down in Greensboro, North Carolina. Love that course, love those guys. Great way if you're uncomfortable at all with moving a barbell, and if you have patients coming in saying they're having problems with their snatch and you're thoroughly confused, a great way to spend your weekend getting up to speed. So I'll post links directly to all of these different apps and websites and different accounts you need to sign up for before you can start doing your podcast in the comments so that you guys can access them directly. Have a wonderful day. Jason will be on tomorrow talking about all things running and cycling. Have a great day.